First one is, what does it feel like to be starting postseason?
It feels great. I think it's for us, it's a new season. I don't feel like our team ended, as great as we could have. Just with just the way we played, obviously in the loss at ASU, but now it's phase two. It's another season. This is when it all matters, and this is what you work for all year for these moments. So I'm excited. I'm super excited.
And how does it feel? Your goal is to win a Pac-12 title, and it's been that way all season. And now there's sort of this extra thing because, with the seedings, that there's a little more, I guess, into going far, making the title game. Do you guys feel that there's extra meaning or there's more pressure this year?
No, I think that there's no pressure. I think that just for us, we want to end the season. We want to start playing well. So I think for us, there's no pressure. We've already kind of done what we set out to do. And I think now it's just a new beginning for us. I think the thing for us, we didn't get postseason play last year. So we didn't get a chance to experience that. We did the Pac-12 tournament, but we didn't have a chance to experience, all of this stuff. So I think, being like, for instance, what I'm saying is like, we were going to make the tournament last year, but we never got to do it. So I think that was like, we kind of felt gypped. I think we're super focused and hungry this year. So I think we're coming into Pac-12 more hungry and knowing that we can win it. I think last year we knew, okay, there's a possibility, but Oregon, I think Stanford's really good, but I think anybody in our conference could win on any given night. So I think that we just came here with a different confidence, and I think we're ready. And I think the ASU loss might have been a really good wake-up call for us.
Okay, and can you walk through a little bit of what it's been like? You guys go get on the bus at McHale and the football team is there cheering you on and some other people, and what it's been like to this point of your trip to Vegas.
It's been great. I mean, I think that's just the culture that Jed has in place. I think just to come and support us, and most teams don't do that. So I think it means a lot to us just have the coaches out there and stuff too. I know they're really busy. So I think stuff like that is just special. I think our players should be proud of that because people are really invested in our program. They care about us. Just to have the fans, or they haven't been to a game all year. They've only been watching us on TV, and to take their time, out of their day and to come down to McHale to see us off, I think it's really nice. And then our players should be thankful for that. And just coming here, we had a really good shoot around yesterday, a really good practice. I really see a different sense of urgency with us that I haven't seen in probably like a month. So I think you'll see that on the court tomorrow. And we're excited. Vegas is so different, like the testing lines and just we don't see anybody. It's crazy. It doesn't even feel like we're in Vegas. But I think the Pac-12 has done a really good job of keeping us separate because we haven't really interacted with anybody or seen anybody else besides the teams. We're going like back walkways and stuff. But I'm excited. This is going to be a great tournament. We're not chosen to win this. Stanford is. So we just have to take one game at a time, and we're going to most likely, we're going to play a good team, either Utah or Washington State. So that's a big first game. But I want to see how we're going to respond after the ASU loss and now in postseason.
Have you done anything sort of fun and a little different? Because I know that like you said, you're in the hotel room, you're separated from everybody else. It's sort of a mini bubble, which you guys have experienced before on the road. But did you put together anything for them, for like for the plane or for anything special for them,
Yeah, we had a celebration on the plane with glow sticks and music and glasses. I don't know if that's circulated on social media yet. Adam would know, but we had like a what did Jessica call it? Not a party in the sky, but it was really cute. Like glow sticks, glasses. We put on like the music they like, danced, and we had those little. It looked like champagne, but it's those little Martinelli's apple cider bottles. So they had those. So it was really cute. I think they loved it. And we surprised them with that before we landed. So just fun because we don't get a lot of stuff, a lot of team bonding and stuff just because of the COVID situation. So the only bonding we get is like in a room, like we have this conference room right now. So we're missing that. And so just to have that yesterday on the plane and kind of have fun, let loose a little bit, I think it's cool. So our players are happy and motivated right now.
Troy Hutchinson, you're up next.
Sorry, my computer cut out, so I don't know if you answered this already. But in the practices, you mentioned that there was a different energy. Was it just more communication, a little bit more, just higher pace than past practices?
I think just a little bit more fire. I think the reason why is because, we just got our butts kicked last week. And I think that was a little bit of a reality check. It humbled us a little bit. So I think you saw a different sense of urgency, which is good because I hadn't seen that in a while. So that told me they're responding. So I'm excited to see how we respond tomorrow. But yeah, we're communicating better, playing hard, competing. It was really good because it was a hard practice.
And then over the last 3 games, you guys have shot around 35%. What goes into fixing the shooting struggles?
Well, we can't take low percentage shots. So that's all based on, it's nothing different. It's just, if you take shots over double and triple teams, you're going to shoot a low percentage. So that's about a 10, 15% efficiency shot. So that's the reason why we're shooting the low 30s. If we move the ball and don't force things and take open shots, those are going to be high percentage shots. You'll see us shoot almost 40% or 40+%. But it's all about our shot selection. So I'm making sure that I'm emphasizing that. I'm showing them on film. I mean, we took a ton of bad shots against ASU, and we took a lot against Cal. And when you take bad shots, you're unorganized on defense. So you cannot do that. Have to take good shots and have to play for each other. And I think that sometimes when there's a struggle in a game, it's not a selfish thing. So we're not a selfish team. It's a wanting to do things yourself or make something happen. But then when everybody's doing that, we're discombobulated. So just getting back to basics. We know what to do. We have the personnel to do it. And the other thing is we were missing Helena. Helena is one of the best passers on our team. She's one of the highest basketball IQ players. And so she finds people and spreads the floor. So we were missing her. But she'll be playing tomorrow, thankfully. Or Thursday. I don't know what day it is. Say Tuesday? Wednesday. So tomorrow. I don't even know what day it is. That's called 5-month-old at the Pac-12 tournament. That's exactly where I am right now.
Kim Doss, you're up next.
So you've got either Washington State or Utah. Washington State, you've got Charlize to worry about, but I mean, what do you have, if it's them, what do you have to do to contain her?
Well, I think we could play either because just the Pac-12 tournament, crazy things happen. Utah can shoot the ball really well, so they can get hot. I think Washington State, Legger Walker's hard to guard. She's can score. She can score in different ways. We definitely have to defend her, and it's not an individual defense; it's a team defense. So I think, but just like they have to defend Aries, so very similar. I think what's hard about Washington State is they really spread you out. They're scout specific, so they don't guard certain people. They run a lot of misdirection, and when they're shooting the ball, they're hard to guard because of the way they spread you. Then they have a good post player that can score inside. So they're a scary team. But I think at this point, this time of the year, everybody's good, and you can't overlook anybody because if you overlook and look at the next game, you're probably not going to pass the first one. And I think we've learned our lesson a couple of years in a row, losing our last regular season game. And to me, that's a lack of focus. For us to go into ASU and let them play the way they did, and credit to them. They played extremely well, but I thought that we didn't help ourselves. And that's not the way you want to end the season. We did that last year with Cal. We had that great Stanford win, then we lost to Cal. So it tells me that our focus isn't there at that point. So that has to be corrected. And I think I'd rather lose, last week than lose when it's one and done. So hopefully I think that'll resurge us, kind of like the Washington State lost it on the road earlier this season. So I'm hoping we respond.
So is it something that you have to do? I mean, you're just focusing on yourself because you don't know who you face, right?
Yeah, so we're focusing on ourselves because, you don't want to, even if you think, okay, this team could possibly win, you don't want to do that because if the other team wins, it looks like you kind of overlook them. So I think that living in the moment, we wait and see. Tonight we get to watch a good game. We get to watch Utah and Washington State, and then we get to see, who we have. But I think we played both teams, and they're both good. We respect them both. So we'll just be ready. But I think the most important thing is us, because I am not concerned. We can guard people. You saw the way we guarded Stanford. We guarded a lot of top teams. I think the concern for us is not the fact that we can guard people. It's like how our offense is going to flow. So for me, getting back to basics of not like jumping in the air and passing the ball. When you're trapped, getting rid of the ball. Those are basic fundamentals that we work on all year. So I don't know why we weren't able to do that the last couple of games. So for me, it's more important and beneficial to work on us and work on the things that we need to fix versus working on 10 things of someone else. Because if we don't fix those things that we're doing, we're not going to win. Like if we don't adjust those things, if we don't make the extra pass, if we don't sprint into action, all those things, we won't win games. So for me, that's more important, and that's the focal point right now.
Ryan Kelleberry, you're up next.
So I was going to ask you if you've noticed that if any of these offensive struggles you've had are kind of the product of other teams doing something differently against you defensively, but I guess you don't see it that way.
No, I don't see it that way because they've done the same thing all year long. No one's changed anything. Like the consistent thing all year long is to not guard certain people. The consistent thing all year long is to like sometimes double the post and see if they can turn it over. The consistent thing is all year long is just sag and help. And then when Ari gets the ball 10 feet in the paint. So it's been the same thing the whole year from day one to last day. So that's why when people say, oh, do you want to bring this and that? No, I don't. Because what we're doing is obviously working, or else we wouldn't be second in the Pac-12. So why I changed that doesn't make sense. And that's why people don't coach. So for me, it's like, do what we do. And what we're doing is working. We're talking about losing 4 games, 2 against some of the top 10 in the country, 2 other. So for me, it's not a matter, it's tweaking small things. At this point in the season, you can't go drastically change your lineup. You can't change things like that and be successful. So fixing the small things, like knowing what teams do and figuring out, okay, when they're doing that, let's run this action, or maybe don't put these 2 players together, put this player with 2 other shooters, kind of stuff like that, because sometimes there's certain lineups that have a tough time scoring, but then they're good defenders. So that's the balance that I have to figure out as coach. And I figure that out and know that, sometimes when you're not getting something for someone, someone else can step up, and that's basketball. So I think at this point in the season, we need to be ready. We should be able to win a game without Helena. Okay, that means other people have to step up, and that may mean 2 other people, but that's what good teams do. If you're missing a player at this time of the year and other people can't step up, then you're not that good. So then you don't really deserve to win. So for me, if Kate went down, someone else, Samaja should step up. We had that last year. Dominique went down. Samaja was inserted into lineup. So everybody at this time of the year has to step up a little more. But no one's changed anything. We're really good against zone. Everybody sags. Everybody has a tough time guarding Ari. Everybody goes third, under screens on our Iverson for our non-shooters. So it's the same thing every game. So we have to be able to recognize that. And if I'm not a shooter, it doesn't mean I have to take the shot. I'm open for a reason, but I could go become a great screener. So there's things like that I have to remind and show film on, because kids are kids and they don't know. They may think like in a game they're more open, and then realize on film, they force it over 3 people. So it's not a selfish thing. It's a trying to make something happen or trying to get us back in the game. And that's what we have to fix, because we're not good like that. We're good when we share the ball, extra passes, when we're, playing for each other. That's when we're our best. We're not our best when it's only Ari and one other person scoring, whether it's Ari and Kate, Ari and Bendu last game. We're not good like that. We're good when Sam's contributing, Trinity, Kate, and people got to step up too this time of year. Me, you got to step up. I'm the coach, so you bring something different. So do the players. It's that time of year. You got to do it.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you then, how confident are you that your team will be able to fix some of these things that you're talking about?
I'm very confident. You will see a difference tomorrow. And because I've already played, it's like I can give all the tools. I can have us work it on hours in practice. It's like we have maturity. We have a senior leader in Ari and Sam. So we have to apply those things, and then it takes other people stepping up. So people got to give a little more. Kate's got to give a little more. Trinity has to give a little more. Lauren's got to give a little more. Helena. So that's what this time of year is. And if not, we don't deserve to win it. So that's my standpoint. If not, and we're not that good, then we don't deserve it. But I feel like we are. I feel like we're capable of winning a lot. I think we're capable of making a deep run. But if they don't choose to do these things, and then we won't do it. And I think our team is selfless. And I think our team just has to see things. They're kids that don't, like, a lot of kids don't, that you teach them. It's my job to teach them. So you'll see it applied tomorrow for sure.
And you said that you expect Helena to be back. I know you said the other day that she was banged up, but like what exactly was what was the issue there?
She was just banged up.
So it's like just a wear and tear kind of thing.
Yeah, and she's playing. So she's already in practice, but she was light practice, no contact. So now she's already in contact, so she's full go tomorrow. Thankfully, so we're happy about that. Bring us another shooter. So, and I probably could have pushed the envelope. Honestly, I could have pushed the envelope and had her play, but it to me at the time, I didn't think we had to have her play. I thought, okay, people could step up, but I mean, we needed her in that game, to be honest. So, but I was more concerned looking forward. I knew that these are multiple games, so we could potentially play Thursday, Friday, Sunday. So, it's a lot of games. So I kind of said, okay, let's give her a couple more days, and then she's fine. So that was kind of a decision I made.
Back to PJ Brown.
Yeah, Adia, this past week, Renee Montgomery was named as part of the ownership group of the Atlanta Dream.
Mhm.
And also a friend of yours, Sue Bird, co-founded a kind of a media company for women. How does that make you feel to see these two, and that's multiple women, but these women take these big steps, in the sports world?
I mean, it's huge. It's funny because I texted Sue about it, and then she was super excited. To start a business to help women be covered is huge, because she was one that told me, it's funny, only 4% of the coverage goes to women. And I didn't know that. I thought it was a lot higher than that. I did not know that. So I think that's one of the things that really inspired her to do it. Like, it was herself, Lexus Morgan, Chloe, Kim, Simone Manuel. So they started this production company to bring voices and tell stories. So I thought that was pretty awesome to have a WNBA star that's, a phenomenal woman that so many people listen to, look up to, aspire to be, to tell stories, and to go tell stories about women that aren't told. I thought that's pretty remarkable. And no one talks about these things in women's sports. Like, it's just not a thing. Like, I didn't even know until PJ, you wrote the story. I didn't even know I was the only coach in the top 10 or only coach in the top 25, even with the baby, like with the newborn baby. I didn't even know that. Just to tell more stories, and I think inspire more women, I think all of that is huge. And Sue had a point that a lot of people they don't tell the right story. So they don't have the right information or tell the right story too. So I'm proud of her. And Sue's the perfect person to do that, because she's got a huge platform and she has a voice.
Great. And this, before you got on here today, you were named as a semifinalist for the Naismith Coach of the Year for your second year. How does that feel? It
feels awesome. I think it's just, I mean, when I see the list, I'm like, okay, I'll never win that, but just to be on a list is great. Because whenever you're on a list and there's Gina and Tara, it's like, oh man, okay, whatever. But with Gina, Tara, and legends, and Gary Blair, it's like, that's awesome competition. They only have like 1,000 more wins each than me. No, I think it's just a huge honor. It's just the hard work this program has put in, and just like people recognize the program. I think that's one of the biggest things, and recognize the transformation of this program. And I think that makes me the most proud, because like we weren't even in conversations with anything, like even 3 years ago. 2 years ago, we made some noise at the NIT. First of all, going into the NIT, no one thought we'd win it. So I think, and then not being able to go to the tournament. So the fact that people even recognize us and talk about us, I think it's just a huge thing. So I'm honored, but list is a list. I don't get caught up in a lot of that stuff.
And how does it feel that, Ari's been, she was named Pac-12 Player of the Year, the Defensive Player of the Year again, and she's making all these watch lists. Again, how does that, what is that for you to sit back and see that?
I think it's tremendous, because like no one even knew who Ari was 4 years ago. No, like she was a role player that was like the fourth option at Washington. So no one knew Aries. So it makes me proud that she chose to come to Arizona, do something special with me. We have had a great relationship since she was a baby, not a baby, but a sophomore in high school. So to watch her just achieve all these things and watch her work hard and watch her learn stuff under Kelsey Plum, then come to Arizona and be that person and totally change, because she was never like that person that everything. She took us on her back and just brought us to new heights. And I'm just proud of her. And just to watch her evolve as a woman too, as a leader, as a voice. It's been remarkable because she's a great person. I think a lot of great players aren't great people. Sometimes they're just like into themselves or they're players. But she's she's a captain, a leader, a star, and like humble, works her butt off. I mean, how many All-Americans are like the same on offense and defense? I mean, I think it's very rare. Then you may be a stellar offensive, phenomenal player, but then you're not a defensive stopper. It's rare. I think it's 1 in a million. Or you're a great defensive player, then you're usually not a scorer. So I think to have that balance, I think it says a lot, and that's one of the reasons why we are where we are today. So I'm just proud of her, and I think it's not a lot of things that she didn't even expect, to be honest.
Alec White, you're up next.
Yeah, Coach, you kind of touched on it, but just how important is it for the senior leadership to kind of take over during this time?
It's very important. I think this time of year, the senior leaders have to take over, have to step up. And I think they're the ones that everybody follows. So I think that when they step up, other people step up. And I think they have. I think Sam's been so aggressive. And, think about Sam also. Look at how much Sam's grown. She had one Pac-12 offer when she signed here, and it was Arizona. The other school she was looking at was Michigan. So no one really thought Sam would be who she is. So to watch her transform, get better, to go from a post to a guard now for us for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to be all defensive team, to be all Pac-12. I mean, no one would have thought that a couple of years ago. So she's a leader in every sense of the way. So her and Ari have to lead us, and they have all year. We wouldn't be number 2 in the Pac-12 if they wouldn't have done that. But it's more important now to even step their level up, which they have. I mean, it's funny. I know in their minds are, because we have a group text, they'll side text me something or did you see this? It's funny. So I know they're in the moment. I know they're hungry to win. And I can't wait to watch it.
And then I know you're still have yet to get through the Pac-12 tournament, but right now the NCAA projects you guys as between a 2 to 3 seed right now, give or take. Does seeding matter to you? Are you approaching this as you need a better seed?
No, not at all. We did all of our work. It's like we put ourselves in a situation to be successful. We can only improve it. So I think for us, okay, we took that was a little hiccup, last week, but it is what it is. It's done. We're looking forward now and we're looking ahead. And so I think for us, winning some games in the tournament, it only helps us. Like it doesn't hurt us. So I think if anything, what we'll do is improve. So let's say we're at a 3 seed now. I think playing well in the tournament can bring us to a 2 seed. So there's nothing that really, it's not a huge difference. So for us, yes, would it be great to be a 2 seed? Yeah. But I don't really even get caught in that, because my main concern, honestly, is the way we play. So it isn't even about winning tomorrow. It's the way we play, the way we react, the way we respond. And then it's our momentum moving forward. That's the most important thing to me right now, because not playing good and dropping a seed, that means we're not playing good right now. It's going to be hard to change that in a couple of weeks. So I think for us, getting back to where we were for the whole season and, catching momentum and all that stuff is the most important thing, and performing well in this tournament. And then all that other stuff will take care of itself. Our seating will be right. It'll be what it's supposed to be. But I just find it interesting sometimes. There's a lot of things that are really political, because it's like there's a lot of other teams that have struggled the entire season that probably have better teams than us. And no one's saying they're struggling. They're playing their worst right now. But there's a lot of Pac-12 schools that are doing that. So it's just interesting. I think it's always motivational for us because we're the underdogs, so we don't care. But there's a lot of people. I mean, we played well this season. We were on a 7-game winning streak, playing good basketball. And so, it's normal. You may take a little hiccup in the road, but I'd rather do that now than, a week ago or 2 weeks ago versus now. But I think we've seen the Pac-12, a lot of teams have done that, and it really hasn't been talked about.
Troy Hutchinson, you're next.
When you first recruited Ari at Washington, did you see a potential Pac-12 Player of the Year?
No,
And how much has she progressed since?
tremendously. Like I think back then, because she wasn't I didn't think she'd come to college, lead the nation in scoring and stuff. I think that's she was fast and had the ability to be good, but like no, I didn't see that. Just like with Kelsey Plum, when we recruited her at Washington, no one thought she'd be the national leading scorer at women's basketball and like a top pick in the WNBA. No one thought that. But I think it depends on the player, their work ethic, their determination, and like Ari wants it. And she wants to be great. She's improved every single year. If you look at it from when she first came here, she's gotten better every year. She's improved something in her game every year. So just proud of her. The hard work she's put in, it's paid off. But yeah, I mean, and definitely didn't think if you're the player of the year and co-defensive player of the year, it's pretty remarkable. I was never that good, so I couldn't even imagine.
And we'll wrap it up. Last question for PJ Brown.
Okay, we saw Ari switch this week from the Drysdale list to the Lieberman list. What was kind of behind all that? How did that happen?
Well, before, looking last year, there was she did, even with Lucia here, Ari played a lot too. She played the 2 and the 1. So I thought that's a position she's played, she's a scorer. So being at the 2, she dominated. And I felt this year, like she's primarily playing the 1 for us. She's playing the 2, maybe a couple possessions a game. So I think it was vice versa last year. So for her primarily playing the 1, and she wants to, be a 1 playing pro. So we've really focused on that. And I don't move her off the ball a whole lot. So that's kind of what went into that. But friends with both of them, so love them both. So I think they're both tremendous awards. And it's funny because I've known Anne for many years and Nancy. So it's crazy. It's a huge honor if she is able to get either. And it'd be great for Ari for her to be able to get, the Ann Meyer Drysdale Award and then the Nancy Lieberman. I think it'd be pretty incredible.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks.